I took the job because no one else wanted it. That should have been my first warning. The motel sat on the edge of a 2-lane highway in rural Montana, far enough from the nearest town that your phone lost signal a mile before you reached it. A flickering sign out front reads Silver Pine Motel, with the E constantly buzzing like it was struggling to stay alive. I needed money, badly, and the owner didn't ask questions. Night shifts only, he said. No guests after midnight. And whatever you hear, you ignore it. I laughed, thinking he was joking. He wasn't. Night 1. The lobby smelled like dust and old coffee. There were 6 rooms total, all in a straight line behind the office. 5 of them were visibly empty. Room 6. Its curtains were always drawn. The light behind them never turned off. Someone staying there? I asked. The owner avoided eye contact. Room 6 pays on time. That made no sense, but I didn't push. At 11:58 p.m., the clock above the desk ticked loudly. At exactly 12 o'clock, the air changed. It wasn't colder. It was heavier, like the building was holding its breath. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, bare, walking outside, stopping in front of room 6. The door didn't open. The footsteps just stood there for 3 minutes. Then they walked away. I didn't sleep that night. Night 3. By the 3rd shift, I noticed something wrong with the guest log. Every night, at 12:03 a.m., a name was written in neat handwriting. Checked in. Room 6. Different names. Different handwriting. Same time. I checked the security cameras. The feed for rooms 1 to 5 worked fine. Room 6. Static. Just that one. Night 5. I heard knocking. 3 slow knocks on the lobby window. I froze. The rules were clear. No guest after midnight. The knocking came again. I finally looked. No one was there. But in the reflection of the glass, I saw someone standing behind me. I turned. Empty room. When I looked back at the window, a message was written in the fog. He's in my room. Room 6's light flickered. The truth. I confronted the owner the next evening. His face went pale when I mentioned the message. You saw it, he whispered. He told me the story. 20 years ago, a family stayed in room 6. Mother, father, little boy. The boy disappeared overnight. No footprints. No signs of struggle. A week later, guests started complaining. They said someone stood in their room at night, watching, breathing, only in room 6. Eventually, a body was found under the motel. Not the boy. The father. His fingers were broken, like he'd been trying to claw his way out. The boy was never found. Night 7. I shouldn't have stayed. But curiosity is louder than fear. At 12:03 a.m., room 6's door creaked open. I watched from the office. A small barefoot boy stood in the doorway. He looked at me. His eyes were too dark, too empty. He pointed behind himself. Inside the room, something moved. A shape too tall, too thin. The boy whispered so softly I barely heard it. Don't let him follow me. The light went out. The door slammed shut. The motel shook. The last entry. The police found the motel abandoned. The owner was gone, so was room 6. There were only 5 rooms now. But in the guest log, one final entry was written. Checked in. Room 6. Name, yours. At 12:03 a.m., I thought it was over when they tore the motel down. The Silver Pine Motel was demolished 3 months after it was abandoned. No ceremony, no investigation results. Just a fenced-off lot and a bulldozer. 5 rooms became rubble, and room 6, officially, it never existed. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. The first sign. It started small. At exactly 12:03 a.m., my phone would lose signal. Every night. No matter where I was. Then came the notifications. Hotel ads. Vacancy available. Check in now. Always at 12:03. Always one room available. The mirror. One night, brushing my teeth, I noticed something wrong with the mirror. Behind my reflection, a hallway. Long, narrow, carpeted in the same faded red pattern from the motel. There was a door at the end, a brass number nailed to it. 6. I turned around. My bathroom was still there. But when I looked back, the door was closer. The dreams. I began dreaming of the boy, barefoot, standing in the doorway. But now he wasn't alone. Something stood behind him. I never saw its face, only its hands, too long, fingers bent the wrong way. In the dream, the boy whispered, "He doesn't need the room anymore." I woke up screaming at 12:03 a.m. Every time, the email. Then I received an email. No sender name, no subject line, just one sentence. "Your stay has been extended." Attached was a photo, a guest log, the same one from the motel. A new entry had been added. Checked in, room 6, name, redacted. The handwriting was mine. The door, 3 nights later. I heard knocking, 3 slow knocks. Not on my front door, on the wall behind my bed. I pressed my ear to it and heard breathing, familiar breathing, the kind you hear when someone is standing too close behind you. Then a child's voice, "Don't open it." The rule. I remembered something the owner once said, something I ignored. Room 6 doesn't stay in one place. It attaches. 2 buildings, 2 people. To those who see it, if you acknowledge it, you become the room, the final choice. At 12:03 a.m., the wall began to change. Wallpaper peeled back like skin, revealing a door frame. Brass number 6. My phone buzzed. One last notification. Checkout is optional. Behind the door, something shifted. Waiting. I don't know how long I can keep ignoring it. Because tonight, someone else checked in, and I'm running out of rooms. I stopped sleeping after the door appeared. Every night at 12:03 a.m., it was closer. Not physically, personally. The first replacement. It started with small things going missing. My keys, my wallet, photos on my phone. At first, I thought I was forgetting. Then I found one of the photos in my gallery. It was me, standing in a motel hallway, barefoot, facing a door marked 6. The timestamp read 12:03 a.m. I didn't remember taking it. People noticing. My coworker asked me if I'd changed my haircut. I hadn't. My sister asked why I was calling her so late at night. I wasn't. Then my landlord pulled me aside. "You've been standing in the hallway," he said, "just staring at people's doors." I asked him when. He swallowed. "After midnight." The rule I learned too late. Room 6 doesn't hunt randomly. It doesn't chase. It waits. It looks for people who are alone, awake at night, and curious enough to look twice. Once it finds you, it doesn't take your body. It takes your place, your routines, your face, your voice, and slowly, your life. The boy returned. That night, the boy appeared again. Not in a dream. In my living room, barefoot, pale, standing where the door should have been. "You let him see you," the boy said. I asked him what it was. He shook his head. "He's what's left when someone stays too long." I asked why he was helping me. His answer chilled me. "Because you're not finished yet." The truth about the father. The father never tried to escape the motel. He tried to switch places. He wanted the thing in room 6 to take him instead of the boy. It worked, partially. The boy got out. The thing followed. And room 6 learned something new. How to leave. The last test. At exactly 12:03, my front door unlocked itself. The hallway outside stretched longer than it should have. Red carpet, buzzing light. At the end, the door. 6. Behind it, I heard my own voice. Laughing, talking, living. The boy grabbed my hand. "If you open it," he said, "you won't disappear. You'll be replaced." What I chose. I didn't open the door. I smashed the mirror instead. The hallway shattered. The door screamed. Not slammed. Screamed. Silence followed. For the first time in weeks. 12:03 passed. Nothing happened. The warning. I thought I won. Until this morning. I checked my phone. There was a missed call. From my own number. Voicemail timestamp. 12:03 a.m. The message was only one sentence. Spoken in my voice. The next night, at 12:03 a.m., I heard myself speaking. Not from the phone. From the other side of my bedroom wall. Same voice. Same tone. Same pauses. It was telling my story. Word for word. The motel. The boy. Room 6. I realized then. It wasn't trying to scare me anymore. It was practicing. The final rule. The boy came back one last time. He looked older now. Tired. "This is how it ends," he said. "Room 6 doesn't need a body. It needs a witness. Someone who remembers it. Someone who tells the story. As long as the story is told, Room 6 exists." Why the motel was demolished. They didn't tear the motel down to destroy it. They did it to contain it. Room 6 can't stay in rubble. It can only exist where someone believes in it. Where someone remembers the door. The number. The time. 12:03 a.m. What the owner did. The owner wasn't hiding. He was running. He stopped working night shifts, stopped sleeping after midnight, stopped telling the story. Room 6 lost its anchor. That's why it chose me. The choice the boy gave me to options. Forget everything, or pass it on. If no one knows, he said. The room fades, but if even one person listens. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Why I'm telling you this? Tonight, I sat in a quiet room. No doors, no mirrors. I watched the clock. 12:02, 12:03. Nothing happened. For the first time, I was alone. That's when I understood. Room 6 isn't following me anymore. It's waiting for you. The last check-in. If you listen this far, if you imagine the hallway, if you pictured the door, then it worked. Somewhere nearby, a light just turned on, a curtain closed, and a room that doesn't officially exist. Just check someone in. Checked in. Room 6. Witness, you. Time, 12:03 a.m. It took 3 days. That's how long it takes for belief to settle. 3 days after the video went live, the comments started changing. At first, they were normal. Great story. Gave me chills. Then one stood out. Why did my lights flicker at 12:03? Another followed. Does anyone else hear knocking after this? I told myself it was coincidence. Room 6 feeds on coincidence. The map? Someone sent me a message. No username. No profile picture. Just an image. A satellite map. Red pins mark locations across the country. Apartments. Motels. Dorms. Basements. Every pin labeled the same thing. Room 6. At the bottom of the image, a caption. Witnesses create doors. The new rule. The boy appeared again, but this time, he didn't look scared. He looked relieved. It's bigger now, he said, but it's weaker. I asked how that made sense. Room 6 can only exist in one place at a time, he explained. But it can be imagined everywhere. Each time someone believes they're being watched at 12:03, the room moves. It doesn't stay. It assigns. What happens to the assigned? They don't disappear. They become background. People forget details about them. Their voices sound slightly off in recordings. Their reflections lag behind. Room 6 doesn't replace them immediately. It lets them fade. The comment I can't delete. One comment refuses to disappear. No matter how many times I refresh. I didn't picture the door. It was already here. Posted at 12:03 a.m. From my city. The real ending. I finally understand the truth. Room 6 isn't evil. It's unfinished. It's what happens when a place remembers people. But people stop remembering the place. It needs witnesses. The way fire needs air. And now, it has millions. If you're still listening, check the time. If it's close to 12:03, don't look for a door. If you hear knocking, don't answer. And if someone tells you they work the night shift somewhere with only 5 rooms, don't ask about the 6th, because you don't check into room 6. Room 6 checks you. Assignment complete. Next witness pending. Time, 12:03 a.m.